Jai Gurudev, thank you for joining us today. To begin with, can you explain the significance of Balram and Subhadra in the context of the Jagannath temple? Absolutely, the Jagannath temple in Puri is unique in that it honors a divine trio, Lord Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra, while Lord Jagannath often captures the spotlight. Balaram and Subhadra hold essential roles in our spiritual practices and narratives. Let's start with Balaram. What is his story within the temple? Balaram, known as Balabhadra in the temple, is considered the elder brother of Lord Jagannath. His name contains the syllables Ram, connecting him to the broader consciousness of Lord Ram. In our traditions, Balaram symbolizes strength and agriculture, embodying the essence of Dharma and support for his brother Krishna. His iconography, characterized by a serene expression and distinctive white hue, reflects purity and stability. And what about Subhadra? Subhadra, the younger sister, is portrayed with a yellow hue, symbolizing energy and prosperity. She is often considered an incarnation of Yogamaya, the divine illusory power. Her position between her brothers represents balance and harmony. Subhadra plays a critical role in various rituals and festivals, notably in the Rath Yatra, where she joins her brothers in the grand processions. How do the rituals at the Jagannath temple reflect the significance of these deities? The rituals here are elaborate and steeped in tradition. Each day, Balaram and Subhadra are worshipped alongside Jagannath with unique offerings or prayers that reflect their qualities. For instance, special festivals dedicated to Balaram, like his appearance day, are celebrated with vigor. During these festivals, the stories of their divine past are narrated and their roles in maintaining cosmic balance are emphasized. You mentioned the connection of Balram's name to Lord Ram. Can you elaborate on this consciousness permeating the temple? Certainly, the connection of Balram to Lord Ram is significant. The syllables Ram in Balram's name symbolize not only his relationship with Krishna, but also a spiritual resonance with Lord Ram, who embodies dharma, justice, and virtue. The consciousness is pervasive in our rituals and practices, reminding devotees of the ideal qualities to aspire to in life. In this way, the temple serves as a space where the essence of Ram manifests, guiding us towards spiritual growth. Finally, how do these narratives impact the cultural identity of Odisha and the broader Hindu community? The narratives surrounding Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra transcend religious boundaries, promoting a sense of universal brotherhood and spiritual unity. They influence art, literature, and social practices, fostering a rich cultural tapestry that embraces diversity. The temple and its rituals inspire millions, making Puri a significant pilgrimage site and a beacon of faith. Um, Thank you for agreeing to speak with us today. The stories of Jagannath are well known, but many people are less familiar with Balaram and Subhadra. Could you elaborate on their significance in the context of the Jagannath temple? It is my pleasure. Balaram and Subhadra are integral parts of the divine trio worshipped at the Jagannath temple in Puri. Yet their stories often get overshadowed by that of Lord Jagannath. Balaram, known as Balabhadra in this context, is revered as the elder brother of Jagannath. He represents strength, agriculture, and the protective aspect of divine energy. His narrative, rooted in ancient scriptures, highlights his pivotal role during the Mahabharata, where he is portrayed as a supporter of Dharma. What can you tell us about the rituals associated with Balaram? The rituals dedicated to Balaram are rich and diverse. For example, his festival, Balabhadra Jayanti, is celebrated with great fervor. Devotees offer specific prayers and perform rituals that honor his qualities of strength and stability. Additionally, during the annual Rath Yatra, Balaram's presence is emphasized as he joins his siblings on the chariot, symbolizing unity and familial love. Now, let's talk about Subhadra. What role does she play within the temple and the broader narrative? Subhadra is a vital figure in this trio. She is often associated with nurturing and divine energy, representing the feminine aspect of divinity. Her yellow hued idol is symbolic of prosperity and abundance. In rituals, she plays a balancing role between her brothers, embodying harmony and cosmic order. During the Rath Yatra, her participation is crucial as she not only rides with them but also signifies the importance of the divine feminine in our spiritual practices. I understand that there is a connection between Balaram and the consciousness of Lord Ram. Could you explain that further? Yes, this connection is profound. The name Balaram itself contains Ram, which suggests a spiritual lineage, and shared qualities between them. Lord Ram is considered the epitome of virtue and dharma in Hindu philosophy. In our rituals and prayers at the Jagannath temple, the essence of Lord Ram permeates the atmosphere, guiding devotees towards righteous living and ethical behavior. Balaram, as an incarnation of strength and support, embodies these qualities, thus establishing a link to the consciousness of Lord Ram. How does this consciousness influence the rituals performed at the Jagannath temple? The influence of Ram's consciousness is evident in various rituals. For instance, the prayers and hymns recited during offerings often reflect values associated with Ram, such as duty, honor, and devotion. This spiritual presence encourages devotees to seek guidance from Balaram and Subhadra in their personal lives, promoting a holistic approach to spirituality that encompasses strength, nurturing, and moral integrity. In what ways do the stories and practices surrounding Balaram and Subhadra enrich the cultural identity of Odisha? The narratives of Balaram and Subhadra, while deeply spiritual, are also cultural treasures. They influence local art, music, and festivals, contributing to a rich cultural identity that reflects the values of compassion, strength, and community. The Jagannath temple itself serves as a hub for cultural activities, drawing visitors not just for worship, but also to experience the vibrant traditions that these deities inspire. This interplay between spirituality and culture reinforces a sense of belonging and pride among the people of Odisha. Beyond the traditional narratives, are there contemporary interpretations of Balaram and Subhadra that resonate with modern audiences? Indeed, there is a growing interest in the contemporary relevance of Balaram and Subhadra. Recent studies highlight how their stories can be interpreted through the lens of gender and social roles. For instance, Subhadra is increasingly seen as a symbol of empowerment in a patriarchal society. Scholars emphasize her assertive nature, especially in her relationships with her brothers, which challenges traditional gender norms. That is fascinating. Are there specific academic publications that address these contemporary interpretations? Yes, several international journals have explored these themes. Research published in the Journal of Hindu Studies discusses how Balaram's strength and Subhadra's nurturing qualities are relevant in addressing modern societal challenges. This research emphasizes their roles in fostering community resilience and cultural continuity in Odisha. Additionally, studies in religion and gender highlight how rituals dedicated to Subhadra have evolved to include more inclusive practices, allowing women greater participation. In terms of the rituals themselves, how have they adapted or changed over time? Rituals at the Jagannath temple have evolved, incorporating both traditional practices and contemporary influences. For instance, the Nabakalibara festival, which involves the renewal of the deity's wooden forms, now includes wider community participation representing the collective identity of devotees. Recent anthropological studies show that these adaptations foster a deeper emotional connection among devotees and enhance their sense of belonging to a larger spiritual community. What role does community play in the worship of Balaram and Subhadra at the temple? Community is central to the worship of these deities. The Jagannath temple is not just a place of individual worship, it is a communal space where rituals foster social bonds. The concept of Sangat, community gathering during festivals like Rath Yatra, illustrate this. Scholars have noted that such gatherings create a sense of unity and collective spirituality, reflecting the social fabric of Odisha. Are there any specific rituals of Balaram and Subhadra that emphasize this communal aspect? Yes, during specific festivals like Balabhadra Jayanti and Subhadra Darshan, devotees come together to perform rituals that involve singing, dancing, and communal meals. These activities not only honor the deities but also reinforce social ties. Recent research has shown that such communal rituals can enhance mental well being among participants, highlighting the holistic benefits of spirituality. Finally, how do the stories of Balaram and Subhadra contribute to overall spiritual landscape of the Jagannath temple? The stories of Balaram and Subhadra enrich the spiritual landscape by adding layers of meaning to the worship of Jagannath. They emphasize themes of brotherhood, balance, and divine duty. Their narratives resonate with devotees, guiding them in their personal and communal lives. The presence of Balaram and Subhadra encourages a comprehensive understanding of divinity that encompasses various human experiences. Beyond their roles in the rituals, how do Balaram and Subhadra contribute to the philosophical underpinnings of the Jagannath tradition? Balaram and Subhadra's narratives are deeply embedded in the philosophical fabric of the Jagannath tradition. Their stories promote ideas of balance and harmony, aligning with the principles of Dharma and Artha. Balaram's strength and protective nature symbolize the upholding of righteousness, while Subhadra represents nurturing and wisdom, which are essential for spiritual growth. Recent scholarship has explored these themes, highlighting their importance in discussions on ethical living and community welfare. Are there specific studies that analyze these philosophical aspects? Yes, several scholarly articles address these themes. Research published in the International Journal of Hindu Studies examines how the narratives of Balaram and Subhadra serve as models for ethical behavior in contemporary society. These studies suggest that their qualities inspire individuals to engage in community service and social responsibility, reinforcing the notion that spirituality extends beyond personal devotion and to active engagement in societal issues. That is interesting. How do the stories of Balaram and Subhadra influence local art and culture? The influence of Balaram and Subhadra on local art is profound. Their stories are often depicted in traditional Patta Chitra paintings, which narrate the divine play and relationships between the three deities. Recent research in cultural studies has shown that these artistic expressions not only preserve the narratives but also adapt them to modern sensibilities, making them accessible to younger generations. What role does the pilgrimage to the Jagannath temple play in this cultural context? Pilgrimage to the Jagannath temple is a significant aspect of cultural identity. It brings together people from various backgrounds, reinforcing social cohesion and shared spiritual values. Studies in tourism management have indicated that these pilgrimages boost local economies while also serving as a platform for cultural exchange and dialogue. The temple acts as a meeting ground for diverse groups, fostering a sense of unity rooted in shared devotion. In light of these discussions, how do Balaram and Subhadra's narratives adapt to the digital age? In today's digital age, the narratives surrounding Balaram and Subhadra have found new expressions. Social media platforms are now used to share stories, artwork, and discussions related to their significance. Digital platforms facilitate virtual rituals and community gatherings, especially during the pandemic, which kept devotees connected to their spiritual practices. Research has shown that such digital engagement not only preserves traditions but also allows for innovative interpretations that resonate with the younger audiences. Are there any particular initiatives or movements that aim to revitalize the stories of Balaram and Subhadra in contemporary society? Yes, there are various initiatives, including workshops, online seminars, and community programs aimed at educating people about the importance of Balaram and Subhadra. Organizations and academic institutions are collaborating to host events that explore the philosophical, social, and artistic dimensions of these deities. Publications in cultural studies journals highlight how these efforts seek to rejuvenate interest in traditional narratives while making them relevant to modern societal contexts. Finally, how do you see the future of Balaram and Subhadra's worship and their significance within the Jagannath temple? The future looks promising as more people becoming interested in spirituality and cultural heritage. The worship of Balaram and Subhadra will continue to evolve. Their narratives will likely adapt to contemporary challenges, offering wisdom and guidance in navigating moral dilemmas and community issues. This adaptability ensures that their essence remains vital, allowing new generations to connect with these timeless teachings. Given the growing interest in spirituality and cultural heritage, how are Balaram and Subhadra being integrated into educational frameworks? There is a significant movement to incorporate the stories of Balaram and Subhadra into educational curricula, especially in Odisha. Schools and colleges are introducing modules that cover the ethical and philosophical teachings associated with these deities. Studies and religious education journals highlight how integrating these narratives fosters critical thinking and moral reasoning among students, promoting a deeper understanding of their cultural roots. Are there any collaborative efforts between religious institutions and academic bodies to promote this integration? Yes, many educational institutions are collaborating with temples and cultural organizations to facilitate workshops and seminars. These events focus on the teachings of Balaram and Subhadra, emphasizing their relevance today. Research published in the Journal of Cultural Heritage emphasizes that such collaborations enhance community engagement and foster intergenerational dialogue, bridging the gap between traditional wisdom and modern education. How do Balaram and Subhadra contribute to the emotional and psychological well being of their devotees? The worship of Balaram and Subhadra is known to provide emotional support and resilience to devotees. Recent psychological studies suggest that engaging with these narratives helps individuals cope with stress and fosters a sense of belonging. Publication in mental health, religion, and culture indicate that rituals associated with these deities can serve as therapeutic practices, allowing individuals to navigate personal challenges with a greater sense of purpose and community. That's quite profound. How do these aspects manifest during major festivals such as Rath Yatra? During the Rath Yatra, the participation of Balaram and Subhadra alongside Jagannath exemplifies unity and community spirit. The rituals performed during this festival not only celebrate the deities but also encourage collective participation, fostering a sense of togetherness among devotees. Research in Journal of Asian Studies highlights that such communal celebrations reinforce cultural identity and social cohesion, allowing participants to express their devotion through song, dance, and shared experiences. Have there been any recent artistic expressions inspired by the stories of Balaram and Subhadra? Yes, contemporary artists are increasingly drawing inspiration from the narratives of Balaram and Subhadra. This includes visual arts, dance, and theater. Research in art and culture journals indicate that these modern interpretations not only preserve traditional narratives but also reinterpret them to address contemporary themes such as gender, justice, and community resilience. How is technology influencing the dissemination of knowledge about Balaram and Subhadra? Technology plays a vital role in spreading awareness and knowledge about Balaram and Subhadra. Social media platforms and dedicated websites allow devotees to share their experiences, stories, and artistic expressions. This digital engagement enables a wider audience to access information and participate in virtual rituals, especially in times when physical gatherings may be limited. Research in digital culture and society shows that such platforms can create vibrant online communities that keeps traditions alive while making them accessible to a global audience. Finally, looking ahead, how do you envision the future of Balaram and Subhadra's worship in the context of changing social dynamics? The future of Balaram and Subhadra's worship seems promising, especially as social dynamics continue to evolve. There is a growing awareness of the need for inclusivity and representation within religious practices as more individuals seek meaning and connection in their spiritual lives. The narratives of Balaram and Subhadra will likely adapt to reflect contemporary values while remaining anchored in tradition. Research indicates that this adaptability is essential for the survival of spiritual practices in a rapidly changing world. How does the intersection of Balaram and Subhadra stories with contemporary issues such as environmental sustainability manifest in current practices? That's a great question. The narratives of Balaram associated with agriculture and strength and Subhadra with nurturing and wisdom resonate with modern themes like environmental sustainability. Recent studies published in Sustainable Development have highlighted how traditional practices associated with these deities can promote sustainable agricultural methods. For example, Balaram's association with farming rituals encourages eco friendly practices and community gardening initiatives, reinforcing the importance of environmental stewardship within the context of spirituality. Are there specific programs or initiatives that link these narratives to environmental practices? Yes, there are initiatives in Odisha that incorporate the stories of Balaram and Subhadra into community led environmental programs. Local organizations are using these narratives to encourage tree planting and conservation efforts, often framing them as acts of devotion. Research published in the Journal of Environmental Management emphasizes that embedding cultural stories into environmental education fosters greater community participation and commitment to sustainability. That's an interesting perspective in terms of interfaith dialogue. How do Balaram and Subhadra serve as bridges between different communities? The narratives of Balaram and Subhadra are rich with themes of unity and coexistence. Their stories often transcend religious boundaries, allowing for interfaith dialogue. Recent research in interreligious studies highlights how these figures can facilitate conversations between different faith communities, emphasizing shared values such as compassion, strength, and resilience. By focusing on the commonalities in these narratives, different groups can come together to celebrate cultural diversity while promoting mutual understanding. Have there been any recent artistic collaborations that explore the themes of Balaram and Subhadra in the context of interfaith initiatives. Yes, there are numerous artistic projects that explore these themes. For instance, collaborations between artists from various faith backgrounds have resulted in performances and exhibitions that interpret the stories of Balaram and Subhadra through diverse cultural lenses. Research in cultural studies emphasizes how such artistic expressions foster dialogue and understanding among different communities, demonstrating that spirituality can be a unifying force in addressing social issues. Moving to a more global perspective, how are Balaram and Subhadra perceived by the diaspora communities? The diaspora communities have embraced the narratives of Balaram and Subhadra, often adapting them to their cultural context. Recent studies in diaspora studies have shown that these stories serve as a means of maintaining cultural identity and spiritual connections in foreign lands. Events celebrating Balaram and Subhadra are organized worldwide, where the diaspora expresses their devotion through ritual storytelling and cultural performances, fostering a sense of belonging even in distant locales. How do digital platforms contribute to the global appreciation of Balram and Subhadra stories? Digital platforms play a crucial role in disseminating the narratives of Balaram and Subhadra to a global audience. Social media allows devotees to share personal stories, videos of rituals, and artistic interpretations, creating a vibrant online community. Recent research in media and religion has shown that these platforms help maintain cultural practices and